Hi, I'm Cindy Echols, and I'm the president of the Cherokee County Republican Women. And today I am here with Rajpal Sagoo, and he is actually running for State House District 21. We're going to give him the opportunity to do an opening statement, a few questions, and a closing statement, and then he is going to let everybody know why he is running for office. Glad to have you, Raj.
Thank you. So, as Cindy mentioned, my name is Rajpal Sagoo, and I'm running for State House District 21. The reason I'm running is to make sure that State House District 21 continues to have good, honest, accessible, conservative leadership in the district. A little background on me: I am a Cherokee product. I went to Johnson Elementary, Woodstock Middle, Woodstock High, so I've been here for quite some time. My wife, of 2 years now, is a nurse up at Northside Cherokee, and we live in the Canton area. A little background on me: I've been in the Army Reserves for about 10 years as dealing in biological warfare. My background is in small business investment and development, so I know the importance of small businesses to our community and want to make sure that we do provide them the resources for them to continue to grow, and that's where my passion is. Currently, I'm the Chief Information Officer for the professional rugby team, Rugby ATL, here in Atlanta. That was a project that started about 4 years ago. So a little bit about my platform. While I want to make sure that we continue to fight for conservative values down at the Gold Dome, as I hope every person that decides to run in the Republican primary does, I have 4 primary areas of focus. The first is on small business. Small businesses in Georgia make up about 50% of the private sector jobs, and so they are the backbone of our economy here in Georgia. And we don't do enough to support them. We have so many small businesses and so many people with great ideas that we don't do enough to cultivate and keep them here in Georgia. I want to make sure that, one, we can create a repository of information so that people who need help, who want to enter the business world, have information readily available for them to be able to start their businesses. And secondly, I want to make sure that we can deregulate some of the current standards and some of the taxes that are imposed on small businesses that really constrain them and prevent them from growing. The second area of focus is maintaining a small government. Right now, there's a lot of bills that have been introduced over the past legislative session that would allow state overreach. And I firmly believe that local issues should be dealt with at a local level. There's no reason why people outside of Cherokee County should have a say in the way we live here in Cherokee County and affect our quality of life. So things from de-annexation, zoning, and design standards, we need to make sure that we can keep those decisions for our local elected officials and not the state government. So as a representative, I would protect from that state government overreach. The third is education, and this is something that's really important right now as we look at trying to come out of this COVID pandemic and figure out how we can reutilize funds. Cherokee County for the past several years has been a donor county, meaning Cherokee County has been penalized for having the tax base we do, and the funding that we should have at the county level has been sent back out to fund other areas of the state. And while I understand it's important to make sure that every child has access to education in the state of Georgia, we shouldn't be penalizing the people of Cherokee County for having the tax base we do. So I want to work on restructuring the funding formula to make sure that more funds stay in Cherokee County. And the last is transportation. You know it, I know it. The roads here cannot handle the population that we have, and we have primarily been focusing on mass transit in Atlanta when we should be focusing on the main arteries and roadways of Cherokee County. Cherokee County is in a pivotal area of the North Metro Atlanta region, and we need to make sure that we're building proper roads to not only handle our population, but help people commute to Pickens, to Forsyth, to Bartow, and ensure that we focus on our area instead of focusing on transit for a few people in Atlanta.
Okay. Why do you want to be a House member?
The reason why I want to be a House member is just the ability to be able to help restructure the framework that people can thrive in. I always see there's 2 types of ways you can get involved. There's the on the ground to make a difference within the framework, and then there's the ability to restructure the framework for more people to succeed. And that's what I see this opportunity as a state representative to do, to be able to make sure that we can get more funding for our education so that our Board of Education can continue to hire great teachers and continue to staff our schools, to make sure that we do have our transportation budget there so that Cherokee County Board of Commissioners can continue to make projects happen within the county, and then obviously to help small businesses to make sure that they continue to prop up the community, which is what they currently do.
What is on your agenda if elected, and what changes would you like to make?
So I think I've briefly focused on a few of those topics already. I think the primary one is in small business and education as far as changes go. Again, a lot of people would enter the small business realm if they knew how to run the business aspect. So many people are passionate about their particular area or idea, but they don't know the business end of those operations. I want to make sure we can empower local municipalities and development authorities with a repository of information that would almost act as a concierge service. So if someone wanted to start a business, they could come to their local authority and kind of be taken from station to station to make sure that their structure is set up correctly, that their tax elections are set up correctly, to make sure that they're in regulation, to make sure that they are focusing on the proper areas they need to focus to maintain a business for the long term. And then, of course, education as well. Education is the backbone to any thriving society. The more informed people are, the better off the society is in continuing to progress. Cherokee County and the school district here, we've been blessed for how well it's produced individuals over the past couple decades. And I want to make sure that we can continue to do that, especially as we focus on our next phase of growth, because growth is inevitable here. And so if we can kind of curtail that and make sure that our education system is well set up for that by keeping more of those dollars in, I think Cherokee County will thrive and be better for it in the long run.
Okay, Governor Kemp has asked for budget cuts because the state revenue has fallen due to the shutdown. What issues do you see arising from these budget cuts?
From my understanding, Governor Kemp wants to kind of take a blanket approach and have cuts across all agencies, which is completely understandable. I think some of the issues that are going to arise from that is what's more important than others. Everyone is passionate about something, right? And each agency that is operated under the Georgia government umbrella plays a vital role in Georgia in some kind of form or way. So I think one of the issues that we're going to see is agencies trying to preserve their funding to make sure that they can continue to offer the services and programming that they do. We'll have to really sit down and just, kind of go line item by line item. I don't believe in just blanket cuts across every agency. We need to really figure out where we can trim fat, which there isn't a lot of in Georgia because we do run a very lean budget as it is. But we need to figure out how we can partner with private entities to maybe complement or even take over certain services that the state provides and really focus on what the state's role is, right? So making sure that we have the education, that we have roadways and transportation, that we have some of the other financial services and auditing services that the state does offer to keep Georgia alive and well. And so I would really want to be able to sit down with Governor Kemp's office and the other legislators and really go line by line. It's the only way that we can ensure that we're doing our parts as stewards of the money that Georgia taxpayers put into.
That is all the questions that we have today, so you can use this time for your closing statement.
I appreciate it. The ideas that I've mentioned today and the things I've talked about is nothing new to the Conservative Party. I think a lot of the things I've talked about, a lot of people feel and want. So I ask you to really dig deep and look at how we can distinguish ourselves. And I hope I can do that through trust, relationships, and accessibility. I want to make sure that you can trust me to make sure that I'm doing what's right for Cherokee County and not someone else. Because I am your employee, you're the employer in this particular situation. I want to make sure that I'm held accountable to you, but that you have the trust in me to make sure that I'm making the right decisions down at the state capitol. Second is relationships. I want you to be able to have a relationship with me where you can talk freely, that we can understand what each other's goals are, what each other's struggles are, so that I can truly represent you down at the state capitol. And the last is accessibility. I'm always accessible with my phone, and my cell phone number is 404-992-3554. Shoot me a Facebook message, shoot me a text, give me a call. I want to make sure that I'm there for you, and that requires being able to have that personal interaction and direct access apart from a general town hall or anything of the sort. I need to be able to be accessible to you, because that's the only way I'm going to know what I need to do down at the state capitol.